Okay, hi YouTube, welcome back. Been a little bit of a hiatus for me, as I think I alluded to one of my other videos, probably my last one, that I had some technical issues and I was just waiting for some more equipment. So I've got a new phone now, got one of these lavalier wireless mics. So this is only my second time trying this out outside, so hopefully the sound should be okay. So yeah, it's just typical off the cuff sort of musings that go around in my mind at the moment. There's two topics, and I was going to try and amalgamate them into one, but I think I may keep it separate. Which one was about the UK, and is the UK done for? Is it dying? I've seen a lot of videos on this topic, but I'm going to stick more to just the job market and how I know that I'm just one of many people, but I'm really finding it quite a struggle, and I'm getting quite despondent at the moment, but I'll get into why. So I've been out of work now for 4 months. My background is office, so it's a bit of a broad term, but pretty much everything from data entry to clerical to customer service, and everything in between. So that's what I like doing. It's what I've predominantly done for a large part of my working life. I had 10 years of being a personal carer, which has since stopped since 2020. So yeah, exactly. What a time to be going back in the job market, right literally at the crux of the first lockdown. So yeah, I've been working sort of on and off ever since, and ideally I'm looking for permanent and full time, but I will also do temporary work, and I'm with quite a few agencies because, for one, it doesn't exactly look great in your CV when you have long gaps in between. Two, I don't want to sit around doing nothing. I would rather work and have something to do. And three, obviously from a money perspective, it's like, why wouldn't I work temporarily? Yeah, so you have what's called a work journal. So you have to basically input everything you're doing to look for work, including applying, if you've been ringing up any agency, stuff like that. So I've got no problem with that. I like doing it. I'm transparent. And so I put in there that I'd gone for an interview, and then I said to her yesterday, I'll know by the end of the week. And she said, just make sure that you're putting in at least a couple of jobs a week, because you haven't put in anything in there since the 27th of February, which was last Thursday. And I thought, yes, because I haven't actually come across anything yet. I mean, I look on there every day, except for weekends, but I'm straight on there Monday morning. Sometimes I even look on a Sunday, but as a rule, at least 5 days a week, which is what's required, I am looking. And I won't go into all what I said to her, but I said, look, at the end of the day, I am trying to, I am applying, I am trying basically, and that I'm just one of many people in the same boat. And it's probably pointless now in retrospect, but I brought up two recent examples of my driving instructor, her husband, who has been in engineering for decades. He was made redundant, I think, in 2023, and it took him a year to get another job again. And I've not seen it for a while because it's a bit of a catch-22. I need lessons to be able to pass my test, which is theoretically, it is technically next month, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know if I'll be ready. But you need money to have lessons. So I've only just started taking up a couple of lessons recently. And long story short, she basically said that he's been laid off again at the start of the year. So he was in work for 3, maybe 4 months, then laid off again. Then speaking to one of my best friends back in Essex, and she said that her husband's been made redundant since last, I think, July or August. It's something to do with design, some sort of design work, and he's been at the company 12, 13 years, and now he's still struggling to get something. And I sort of brought this up and said, I know they're not me. This is again to my work coach. I said, I know they're not me. I said, but if two people with clearly a lot of experience and years behind them under their belt are struggling, then someone like myself, who is just, average education, sort of average kind of work experience, then doesn't it stand to reason that if they're struggling, then obviously I'm struggling, and so many people are struggling. I don't care what they say about the figures of unemployment. They're always finagling the numbers and double speak. So I just know from a personal grassroots on the street level, like, that if people are in jobs, a lot of them are getting laid off, or they've got a hammer hanging over their head, and other people are just flat out struggling to find work. Now, again, I mentioned about catch-22 with driving. That is something I know that hampers me a little bit, because if I could drive, then there are jobs sort of more 10 to 15 miles plus away in the office section that I could do, because it's a bigger area. I'm not going to give away where I live, but there's a lot more jobs going there. But when you have to rely on commuting, buses and trains, if you're in the UK, you know, particularly with the trains, they've been so haphazard for the last couple of years, whether it's been, because of when we've had hurricanes and stuff like that, or whether it's because of staff shortages and the strikes. There was a lot of that, particularly in 2023. One of my friends who's commuting was really struggling. Like, he was basically ringing into work every 2 or 3 days saying, I'm going to be late in because there's just no trains. I'm a very punctual person, and I can't be doing all that stress. I just can't. So my job search radius is really within up to about 10 miles, and if it's feasible, by public transport, which I think is more than reasonable. I think the stipulation is that you have to be prepared to travel up to an hour and a half, I think, each way there and back. And that's another thing I go into about the myth of the 9 to 5. Is it really 9 to 5? I mean, unless you work from home or you live 10 minutes away from your workplace, you add in commuting time and stuff like that. I've easily done 10, 11-hour days before, when technically it's only been 8 hours. But that's a whole other rant. So, yeah, my point is, I just sort of come away from the meeting yesterday just feeling despondent, because it's now at the mark where it's coming in for it's just over 4 months since I last had a job, and I know they're going to turn the screws and put the pressure on, because they get jumped on from the people above. In fact, that's a story I could definitely do for another topic, about the time I was sanctioned many years ago, completely unfairly. In fact, I will do a video on that, because that's something that I still bristle about with rage even to this day, of how disgustingly I got treated by that. But anyway, so to those of you watching, if you're in a similar position to me, are you currently looking for work at the moment? Like, how have you found it? I'm really quite inspired by some of the videos I've seen recently. There was a guy, I think he's called Kirby Talk, someone I've just recently, or Kirky Talk, something like that. I just recently subscribed to him, and I saw his video on Bo Refec's channel, Legion of Men, because he covers a lot to do with some of the videos he covers are about men struggling, particularly with trying to find their place in the world, and the role in masculinity and all that. But this guy, he's a fellow Brit, Kirky Talks, and he actually is working, and he's got I think he's got 2 kids and a partner, long-term partner. So he works, I think he's a delivery driver, so he works like godforsaken hours from like 3 in the morning to whatever, and he's just talking about how hard it is to struggle just to make ends meet. And again, that's something I think a lot of us are feeling. Now, I'm someone who's a minimalist. I live on my own. I don't have a partner. I don't have any immediate family, so it is all on me. But I'm someone who does spend below their means, and I have to in the situation I'm in at the moment. The only thing that's keeping me afloat are dwindling savings, which I'm not saying are nearly gone, but if I was to carry on this way in another 5-6 months, things would definitely be extremely tight, to say the least. There's a few topics I've got, actually, topic ideas for videos, and one of them is to do with like moving and potentially moving. But yeah, I'll definitely save that for another video. But as I say, this one was mainly just my kind of off the cuff sort of talk or discussions on the job market. I know that it's something across the West. I see a lot of videos that are American and they talk about this, but I don't know how it is in other parts of Europe. But certainly in the UK, I think we do mirror a lot of their problems. And with the job market at the moment, again, I know it's also partly geographical. I'm sure if I lived in the heart of London or Birmingham or one of these major cities, that it might be a little easier, but the fact is the competition is so ridiculous. I mean, I heard something the other day. I don't know how true this is, but there was an IT position going. This was somewhere in the UK, and I'm sure this person was saying that there was something initially like 200 plus people that applied, and then obviously they shortlisted it down to whatever. And I've said that to people, and some people have sort of raised their eyebrows and said, as if that's bullshit. But I think, is it though? Because it's like this thing with ghost jobs and fake jobs. That's something else that really drives me insane. One particular agency I can mention, and I'm going to mention them, Prince Personnel. I think they're probably one of the most guilty of doing this. Is you'll see jobs that have been up for like 2, 3, sometimes even longer than 3 months, and you're thinking, how is this position still open? This position clearly isn't available anymore. So whether it's just an outright fake job or they just haven't taken it down, I don't know, and I don't care. It's just really irritating to see that. But yeah, looking on Indeed and some of the main sites, you can kind of tell with a few of them that they're just a bit too sketchy. It's like, there's no way this job's for real. But I don't know. In fact, if anyone watching this happens to work for a recruitment agency, I'd love to hear your insight onto just how true this is, because I think there is definitely a lot of truth to it. But it's just my 2 cents. Anyway, I don't want this video to go on any much longer, so if you're in the same position as me, like, comment below. I'd love to hear your experiences and how you're finding it and what you're doing to sort of stay positive. But apart from that, I will see you guys in the next video. But take care, and if you are looking for a job same as me, I wish you all the best. Again, perhaps comment below if you've had success, and if you're someone that is fortunate enough to have a job and you're still in your job at the moment, then I just hope that it still carries on for you that way, because it just seems to be far too commonplace at the moment with people getting laid off left, right, and centre. So anyway, that's it for now. Take care, guys. See you in the next video.